Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Manufacturing Alliance podcast. As always, I'm your host, Tony Demakis, and I am here at Alliance Specialties and Laser Sales, where we do all things mold making, mold finishing, laser welding, laser engraving, building. We're mold makers that don't build molds. And we do that because you guys, as mold makers, have way too much to do to worry about the polishing, the engraving, the laser welding, the hot runner repair, the PMs. Those are the things that we want to take on for you. We want to be your business partner in that. We want to be an extension of your tool room. We've got the staff to be able to do that. We've got 8 polishers, 3, 4 mold makers, 8 laser welders, 2 laser engravers, and a partridge and a pear tree. We've also got a full line of laser welding and laser engraving equipment made here in the United States. So that's important right now when you don't know how you're going to get parts, when supply chains are off the wall. You don't know when things are going to come in. We have everything in our facility here in Chicago. Everything is made here. We control all of that. We control all the costs. We make sure that we have all the parts, anything you need. And when it comes to the servicing of equipment, you're not getting somebody with a clipboard just answering questions as they come in, trying to field them, telling you to unplug the machine and start it again. You're getting the guys that actually built the machine, telling you how to do the work, how to make sure that you can get it set up properly. So that's us in a nutshell. Today's show is the same as everything else. We are coming to you live so that you guys, the audience, can ask questions and participate in the show. If there's something that we cover and you have a thought, you have an opinion, you have something that you want to say, or you just want to say hello, put it in the comments, whether that's Facebook, whether that's YouTube, whether that's LinkedIn. And Vanessa is going to be paying attention to that. She'll let me know what the question is. We'll ask it. And then Rich and I will answer the question to the best of our ability, or even if we need to change topics. So let us know what you want to know about, and we are very flexible to be able to do that. So that's it. The show is live, and we are going to bring in our guests. So Rich is somebody that's been on the show. I think this is his 3rd time. The first time was at NPE live in the Gardner Business booth at NPE. That was something fun and unique. And then he did a surprise visit here to Alliance one time, and we just set up in my office, and we knocked it out. We had a great conversation, and since then, Rich and I have become really good friends. So I'm going to bring Rich in, and we'll get this thing kicked off. Rich, how are you?
I am doing fine. How you doing, Tony?
I'm good, buddy. It's so cool. It's like you're working outside with your tinted shades.
Yeah. I'm actually down in our lobby, and it's pretty cold here in Loveland, Colorado, and there's a lot of snow outside, as you can see behind me, the glare. So my glasses I'm not trying to be cool. They're just automatically tinting. So we just have to deal with it.
I just thought you had that Colorado cool going on.
Yeah, I wish.
Come on, you can't fool anybody. I've seen the pictures of your property with the elk and the moose and everything just wandering up to the house. It's pretty incredible.
I grew up in Michigan, and we all grew up, hunting white-tailed deer and doing that, hunting pheasants and things like that, and living at elevation. We have a property in Montrose, Colorado, but we're over here in Loveland with a company, and our father-in-law lives on that property over in Montrose, and it is pretty incredible. He had 63 elk bedded down right up against the house. Now the house is 600 square foot hunting cabin.
Yeah,
it's nothing fancy, but it's it's just incredible. It's about 7,000 foot elevation. So you don't have that in Michigan, but we also don't have a giant lake like we did back in Michigan.
No. I mean, given the choice, I think I would choose Colorado versus Michigan. That's just me. But
yeah, we did. We did. My wife's from Colorado, so that made it easy. And there's just a lot of things to do. Our company, we're here in northern part of Loveland, Colorado, and when I'm facing north right now, and when I look to the west, it's about 4 miles right from our front door is the Rocky Mountains. And so
that's awesome.
Anything you want to do is right there. So it is great. It is really nice, and it's not humid. So
no,
that's
it's not.
That's something that we've grown to love. No mosquitoes.
It's nice until you try and do some exercise, and then you don't realize why you're so exerted because you don't sweat and you can't breathe.
Yeah, it's we're about 5,500 foot elevation here at the office, and it's a little different if you're not used to it, but you adapt pretty quick. And if you come
Yeah,
out to
of course.
Colorado, just give yourself a day to adapt, and then go have a ball.
The nice thing is, you don't have to drink as much for the same effect.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you have to be careful about that.
You do, you definitely do. So there are people that live in a bubble and they don't know who Rich Oles is. They're few and far between. So why don't you tell us who you are, and because you do that better than I do.
Well, that's kind of funny. Well, um, first off, I'm a journeyman mold maker, mold designer, hands-on. Grew up, like I said, in Michigan. Did my apprenticeship at a school called Lake Michigan College, community college in Benton Harbor, Michigan. The dean up there is a guy, Dr. Kenneth Flowers, who I still am in contact with today. Taught adjunct there for a number of years to try to give back to the program. Um, uh, Grew up in the industry there, both in mold making, hot runner manifold systems. I was the CEO of two different European companies that expanded into North America, and went on to run a production molding facility up in Zeeland, Michigan. I was the director of molding, and I worked in tooling there as well. Then I started a consulting company, ROI Rich Oles Industries, and that's when we did our podcast together. Was very blessed with that taking off immediately to the point where it was, when you're starting a company, you're asking yourself the question, how are we going to do this? And then within a few weeks, it was, how are we going to do this? So what we did was we used partner companies, which is still our model today. We're partnered with a lot of companies like Alliance. We work with your team. We refer people doing hot runner manifold repairs or needing laser welding to you because that's what you guys are expert in. It lets our company cover a much broader group of customers and be of service to them. And then we introduce them to people like Torsten Cruz at Cruz Analysis, and John Bazzelli from Scientific Molding. Bill Hartwick is one of our tech service people. He has his own company, Filter Specialties. And we work with mold masters and all kinds of different mold makers. And that really lets us solve problems and provide solutions to our customers today. Um, we merged ROI, my consulting company, in November of 2018 with ALBA Enterprises. We were in Torrance, California at the time. My business partner is John Deneen. He's our CFO. And John comes from the finance world and purchased ALBA back in December of 2013 um, as an investment opportunity. Not totally understanding what he was getting into, and he'll be the first to tell you that today. He uses the phrase when we talk, says, hey, how hard can manufacturing be? And he found out. He made a huge effort, and they were back then representing Thermoplay, which after a few years that went away because the Barnes Group purchased Thermoplay and didn't need a distributor. They have their own channels.
Yep.
And so ALBA changed. We have the ALBA couplers, we have Vega hydraulic cylinders, which are for molds and dies, and latches, gate block. We have a number of different products in the Baby Plast micro molding line. We sell Moretto auxiliaries. Recently, we made an agreement with ColdJet, so we can do dry ice blasters, and we're working on a few other things.
You
So
guys are.
today,
Go
go ahead.
ahead. I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say you guys are growing like crazy. I mean,
We're, we're,
the
diver- we're diversifying. We're really focused on everything. It may appear from the outside that, man, this is a shotgun approach. What are these people doing? They got ColdJet involved and they've got this going on and that going on. Well, the thing that we do today that we introduced in November of 2018 was we're doing turnkey molding solutions. We still
yeah,
consult quite a bit behind the scenes. We don't advertise. Um, we've been blessed. We don't need to. People are calling us and asking for our help.
yep.
So the turnkey molding solutions, we use Baby Plast molding machines and then Moretto auxiliaries. We also work with MTA for their auxiliaries chillers, and we provide a complete turnkey solution. I authored a series of articles in mold making technology some years ago called Pellet to Part.
Right.
And so we
I remember
approach
that.
that from the very beginning of the project. We look at a part and we say, what does this need? We create the CAD data working with different tool shops. And we have SolidWorks in house. We can do that, but we prefer to use the tool shops because if they're going to build the tool, then what they've already done is a stepping stone going towards the final product. And the turnkey molding cells has really taken off. And so every relationship we have is so we can either create a solution for a new part or a problem, and then we want to be able to maintain that solution over the life of the project. So dry ice blasting is just a natural way to go. Working with Alliance, you guys, if somebody needs help on a hot runner, or laser welding or maintaining, we have all those connections to provide
Yep.
the solution. And we don't even have to be involved once it goes into production. They work directly with you or whoever, and it's working really well. It's working
And
really well.
I think that's one of the things that you and I hit off on so quickly is that idea of partnerships, right? Like
Yeah.
there are so many things that go into this industry specifically. When it just comes to plastic injection molding and mold making, there's so many different avenues. And here's the thing, we're all dealing with the same handful of people, whether it's materials, whether it's tooling, whether it's, molding machines, presses, molds. We all have the same customer. And so if we can work together and build referrals and build a partnership and build a network, we're all better off, including our customer, because they're getting the knowledge we have as who's busy, who's not, who's got time to get me in, who specializes in the kind of work that I do. Where should I go for this? Where should I go for that? And so a lot of our expertise, and I learned this partially from you and I learned it from my father, is to make yourself a human Rolodex for people, so that you can make a difference in whatever category that is. Even if I don't have an answer, I know I can go to a Rich Oles or a Scott Peters or Westminster Tool or Pelco or whoever to get the things done that I know need to get done.
That's the key. I talked to a lot of people, a lot of time on the phone. Well, before COVID, Road Warrior, flights, all this stuff. And we're doing a lot of web meetings now, which can be taken from any place. And we did that when we were consulting as well. But at the end of the day, it's about relationships. When I have a client call me and say, "Hey, Rich, we just plugged in the hot runner manifold thermocouples into 220 volt and we fried them all. I got to have these done now.
Right.
The OEM parts are going to be 2 days. What do I do?" And I'm in Libertyville, Illinois. I say, "Hey, call Jerry over Alliance. He's got them in stock," or we get Scott Benz involved,
Right.
or somebody like that. And so we put people together for solutions. And so the relationships are important, but those relationships are built on trust and time, where people know it's reciprocated. If you're always the one calling for help and you're never given the help, yeah, it doesn't last. It
No.
just it just doesn't last. I mean, that's not how it works. So it's a pretty simple model, and you mentioned resin suppliers. We work with a number of different resin suppliers. In fact, yesterday I was supposed to be on a plane to Mesa, Arizona to meet with Mitsubishi Chemical Advanced Materials and the team there. We've been working with them quite a while, and since 2019, and it's an incredible organization. If you don't know them, you should reach out to Randy White. He's the chief technology officer globally. They do aerospace, all kinds of things. But I had to cancel because the flu is going through our team here like crazy, and I am on the edge of it, and I'm trying not to get it. So I was supposed to be working with resin suppliers this week in Arizona, and so we're going to postpone that to when I feel better.
For a while there, I thought that COVID was the cure to the flu. But
Yeah,
apparently the
no,
flu
it's
is making a comeback.
the flu is still a real thing, and the cough on this one is just killing everybody. I mean, it's just crazy. But we are testing for COVID. We're being smart, with all the things that are going on,
Sure.
and we're also watching the rules, especially in Illinois with the upcoming PT Expo
Yep.
in March.
Yep.
We'll be at that as well, and I was talking to some of the coordinators yesterday, and they said that the mask mandates look like they're going to all drop coming up.
Yeah, that's
So.
living in Illinois, you really don't know what to expect from day to day.
Mhm.
So, I'm kind of not holding my breath. I'm not committing to any of those things. The one that I'm hopeful will kind of wane a little bit would be the vaccine passport, to be able to go into restaurants and eat and things like that, especially with PT Expo coming up,
Yeah.
because it's going to make things difficult otherwise.
Yeah.
So speaking of relationships, Max Preston,
I
our
was
friend
just
Max Preston
I
is
just saw that.
is saying hello from Canada, and he even called us fellas.
Yeah, that's He didn't say A. So
He didn't.
I'm sure he's going to text something to us right now about that comment. But
He's
actually, I have a conference call with Max this afternoon.
nice.
We're
So
going to
he was just
be
trying to get a prep for you, or bust your stones about something
Yeah,
stupid we
but
do.
pretty much. We're actually going to be working with Max's company, Smart Attend,
Okay.
and we've got Bill Hartwick coming out all next week. We're refurbishing some older baby plas machines that came in from clients that have been running them for a number of years. And while Bill's here, Bill does installs on the Smart Attend product. And if you don't know Smart Attend, go check them out on the internet. It's a pretty interesting product. And so we're going to be retrofitting a couple of our in-house sample presses, our vertical and horizontal that we own here at ALBA, and we do samples on. And we're going to be putting Smart Attend application on there, and then we're going to have more information about that once we get it up and running and using it in combination with the software that we have right there on the baby plas machine. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
It's a pretty cool software.
Let's go back real quick. I want to talk about PT Expo for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What I know you are part of the Circle of or the Champion Circles, right? Yep. I got that same portfolio thing downstairs. It's great. So what is your thoughts on the Champion Circle and what that means and what you're expecting from PT Expo?
Well, it's a really interesting concept. I think I'm not exactly sure who came up with it at the Gardner team. I've been in close contact with Gardner, and as you have for years.
Yep.
The whole organization has been incredibly kind and supportive of me personally and the companies I've worked with over the years. So there's a lot of articles written and a lot of participation at Tech Talk theaters and events, and we're planning on continuing to do that. One of the conversations we'd had, I think it went all the way back to K Show. I met
Yep.
with some of the executives, and we talked about how are these companies like Gardner going to serve companies like ours and all the people that attend these shows to the maximum value, because the way we've done things forever is changing,
Right.
and that was before COVID hit,
Yep.
right? And so promoting this and promoting the PT Expo, let's say, um, I'm using the channels that I have to promote the event for number one, because I believe in the event. I know
Right.
the people and the companies that are going to be there. I was going through with Dan Sweat. He works at Gardner.
Yep.
Last night, the list of registered people that have booths and they're at the Tech Talk. It's really a great lineup of people. And so I'll be at the event all 3 days, and I'm going to be having actual meetings with clients and introducing them to people. So I'll be bouncing around the whole show, right? Taking them. I'm using the show as a way to get, instead of virtual meetings, in-face meetings, so we can have where people are concerned about confidentiality and so on and so forth. So the PT Expo, for me, it's the only event I'm participating in this year.
Which, if you don't know Rich Oles, this is like
It's a big deal.
this is an epiphany, because this is the guy that would spend more days on airplanes and in foreign cities than he did in his own house. It was useless
Yeah.
for him to have a mortgage, because he was literally spending more time and more money on flights than he was his own home. And
It was
so the last couple of years, you pulled that way back, and you were like, listen, I'm not traveling. I'm not going to shows. I'm not doing that. We're finding success not doing it. And I think PT Expo is the first show you're going to be at in what, 3 years?
It is. Since the last show I was at was, well, I went to K Show. I was at K because Baby Plus has a big booth at K, and all the agents from around the world usually show up to there, and it's a great opportunity to interact and network with everybody. But the last domestic show here in North America was Amerimold 2019.
Yep.
We had a Baby Plus running, and we participated in the Tech Talk Theater, and great show. And that's part of the combination of PT Expo. Amerimold is being co-hosted at this event with some other. So they've got the whole first floor of the Rosemont Convention Center, basically.
The
So there's a
Donald
lot of
E. Stevenson Convention Center. Man, that's a
yes,
mouthful.
yeah. I'm glad you're saying that right, because I always call it obviously the Rosemont Convention Center. So no, PT Expo for me is a great way to get back in touch with everybody safely,
Yep.
and we have all of the different people at the event that I need to introduce my customers to. We're inviting the OEMs that use us for turnkey molding cells, some of the mold makers that we're using. I mean, we built, I think in last year, we built in excess of $1 million in tooling for these. And the biggest mold was 93 pounds, if you can imagine that, for our clients for these turnkey molding cells. And so we've partnered with a number of high quality tool makers, and we're developing another one right out here in Colorado. Actually, we're going to be meeting with them next week again. They're a great company. I don't know if you know Rapid Production Tool in Berthoud,
I think so.
Colorado. We've toured the facility and we've been talking to the team there. It's an impressive team that's got experience. They've got a clean room for molding. They do precise work. When you walk through and look at the tool makers working on the projects, you kind of get a sense of being a tool maker, of their skill level. It's an impressive team.
Yeah.
So we're going to be meeting with them and talking to them more. But the PT Expo is going to be the place for us to be, because we're focused on what's going on with our clients. And
Yeah.
that's the big focus right now. Is we have been blessed with business, but going out and trying to collect 350 cold call business cards to follow up on isn't really the right thing for ALBA Enterprises to do today.
No.
So
And
we're
I agree with you, and I think those trade shows to me will always have a place, and
absolutely
I think Gardner did a fine job on trying to do a virtual show, but nothing beats face to face and
that's right.
being able to just reconnect with people again. And to me, that's the biggest thing about PT Expo or a Merimold is it's a tight knit family, right? Like I think the K Show, NPE, things like that, they have their place to see technology, but when you look at a business as building relationships, I think those things are way too big. And by the time you get home, whether you're a vendor, whether you're just attending, you
Right.
saw so much stuff. You can't even wrap your head around what it was. There's no way to be able to make a lasting connection at those large shows. And that's not to say that PT Expo is going to be some shoddy little thing. I think it'll be great. And I think it's that sweet spot of size where they're going to have the suppliers, the builders, the molders, the mold makers. Everybody's going to be in the same space where we can make lasting impressions and connections. And so, I mean, I would encourage, if you're listening to the show and you're just trying to get into the industry or trying to find new suppliers, consider PT Expo. It's March 20, is it 23rd?
29th, 30th, and 31st.
29th, 30th, and 31st. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's in Rosemont. It's not in downtown Chicago. There's plenty of
Right.
places to eat, plenty of places to stay, and you can actually use. I mean, you can use two different promo codes. You can use my
Right.
promo code Tony TONY, or you. I'm sure Rich, you have one. I'm guessing it's Rich.
It is. It
Oh,
is.
look at that, man. They got really creative with this one. Nice job, Gardner. Way to keep it simple. So just, go look up PT Expo, and you can add the promo code Tony or the promo code Rich, and I believe get in for free,
Yes. Yeah.
which is
We have
awesome.
unlimited registrations on those promo codes, and part of that is the Champion Circle member. I talked to Dan yesterday, and I've talked to some of the other members of Gardner, and they're hoping to grow that circle to 10 or 15 people next year, which I've actually been approaching some people that I think would do a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to our LinkedIn page, we're live streaming on LinkedIn right now on my page, Tony.
Yep,
And
awesome.
so right now I'm at about 26,000 connections on LinkedIn, and I go through and I dump. If I don't recognize a face or a name, believe it or not, after a while, I go through every so often and dump 2,000 or so as I'm going. Or if somebody is just trying to unfiltered do
Ugh,
a sales pitch to me on LinkedIn, and they know it's clear they know nothing about our company, they know nothing about me,
right,
and they try to sell me plastic resin
right.
or something like that, or want me to recycle my. That's just somebody using LinkedIn to do virtual cold calls. I
I
dump
get a
them
lot
real
of
quick.
financial advisors lately,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
clearly they haven't done their research because I have no money.
yeah. Well,
Stop calling me to manage my finances. I can
well,
take care of like $100. It's okay.
well, they're calling us because we get a lot of people approaching us wanting to know if we want to fund our company operations, or again, no prior contact. And for anybody on LinkedIn or anybody listening to this, if you're doing those type of cold calls, just stop. It's terrible, and it's the fastest way for me to disconnect
Yeah.
with anybody on LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is what I'm using exclusively, partly because of time, and I've got a good database there. But I'm currently not on Instagram or TikTok or anything, and we will be at some point.
I
when the
can't wait
time's
to
right.
see you dance on TikTok.
I'm
That
not going to
is
dance on
like,
TikTok. Okay.
that's one of the things I
That's
want to see.
not going to happen. So when there's a value for doing that, right? When I have a product that I need it to go viral, that's different. We'll use those channels when the time's right. But we're going to be putting a studio in the shop here around a baby plastic molding machine, and we're going to be recording some high quality homemade videos on how to maintain your baby. It'll be the series will be if your baby's sick, what to do. And
Yeah.
so we want people to understand how to run the machine, how to maintain the machine, and so they don't have unplanned downtime. And this a lot of it's common sense, but this technology is a little different than a standard injection molding machine from the injection unit. And one of the most common things that we find is people don't have the heat profile set up correctly. So as we educate and teach them, because that's all support really is, the problems are going away bit by bit, and we're having a lot of success.
Yeah, we're gonna have. So we've got a brand new machine that we're launching at PT Expo. It's combining laser welding with a UR robot, and
Oh,
so
nice.
it's the first robotic laser welding system that is actually also joystick controlled. So you can set it up for production welding, and you can set it up for repairs and manual things. The thing is so cool, and it's
So
easy to move around. It's awesome.
if you're in the caps and closures world and you've got B-side, you get 64 cores that form the inside of, and you've got to weld the shutoff on the diameter, you can set it up and teach it how to do the first one,
Yep.
and then just set up and hit go and then do it again and again.
Yep.
Awesome,
Yep.
awesome. That's really
So
cool.
that will be launching at PT Expo. It's basically what our whole booth is around. We scaled everything way down for this show, just so that we could focus on one piece of equipment and really dial into it. Sometimes we've gone overkill. This giant 20 by 20 booth with 6 different machines and all this stuff, trying to throw everything at the wall, and then the details kind of get lost. So we're excited for this. We're excited to see how it works out. And it's nice because we've got, Amerimold is paying attention to us today. They can't wait for PT Expo.
I'm watching the comments. Torsten Cruz and
Torsten Cruz
Champion
says she at the
Circle
show.
and yep, everybody's up here. So that
Dan,
looks really good.
Jackie,
Yep.
Allison. And Richard Evans is also watching on YouTube, and he goes back and says he couldn't agree more about building relationships and what that looks like in industry. So come to PT Expo. It's 3 days. You can probably get through the show in one day. So it's not like it's a huge time commitment. But like Rich, you said, it's the perfect opportunity to go and shake hands with your customer or schedule a meeting with your customer or introduce them to somebody else and just grow your industry and grow your business. So,
Tony,
I
to
can't
expand
wait
on
for it.
that, how we're going to use the show. When I go to shows like this, if I can get 8 quality meetings between somebody that has a booth or is presenting at the show because they're going to be there, and my customer, we can put us all together to talk about an actual project. PT Expo has a private area for people like you and I who are helping promote the show, and we can go and talk with comfort that somebody's not going to overhear the conversation about a real project.
Yep.
And so I encourage everybody to bring your challenges. Don't just come kick the tires and look and take a business card. Actually talk about challenges. Talk
Yes.
to the people. Call them ahead of time and get an NDA in place if you need that. But I'm probably going to be leaving the show. Everything winds down pretty much around noon on the last day at most shows that we all have
Yep.
gone to. And so I'm actually going to head north into Wisconsin, and I'm setting up tours at tool makers and different injection molders that we work with different OEMs we're inviting to come to the show. And then after, on the afternoon of the 31st, the evening of the 31st, and all day on the 1st, we're going to be touring these tool shops and with multiple different OEMs so they can meet the vendors, so they can come to the show. And within
Yeah.
4 hours of driving of this event, you've got a unbelievable network of manufacturing companies for plastic injection molding.
Smart.
So that's how we're going to use it. I encourage everybody else to do something similar. And then, like, if you fly into Chicago and want to fly out of Milwaukee, or fly in Chicago and fly out of Grand Rapids or Toledo or whatever, it's pretty easy to do. If you're coming in from someplace across the country.
Yeah. And so, come to PT Expo. Come support the people that are supporting the industry. And while you're there, find the Gardner booth and tell them a story that you have
Absolutely.
that's going on in your business. It's so easy to get your stuff promoted, to get your industry promoted, to get your company promoted. I know the last like 10, 15 minutes seems like a big commercial for PT Expo and Gardner, but
Well, it's part of what we're doing, though.
and they've been a very big part of your success and my success and
Yeah.
Alliance's success. And they want to see companies grow, because let's face it, if our companies are not growing, that means their business is shrinking. So they want to do whatever they can to help tell your story and your industry story. So find a Christina or find somebody that works for Gardner and say, hey, we've been working on this thing. Can we tell you about it? Will you help us tell our story? And they're going to jump all over it. And it's, ready for it, free. It's free publicity for your company. That's what they want to do. That's their job. And that's how they can help you grow. It's not about you get this magazine that shows up and you flip through it, or, LinkedIn articles or whatever it is. They really, really, really want to help all the businesses there succeed. And it's up to you to take advantage of it, right? The invitation is there. What are you going to do with the invitation? Are you going to show up? Are you going to contribute? Or are you just going to walk away?
You're going to get out of those types of situations what you put in.
Yeah.
And same thing on LinkedIn or anything else, or what you're doing with the podcast that you're doing. If you don't make the effort, you don't get the return.
Yep.
I jotted down a couple of company names here. I went through the list. This is a fraction. Alliance is right at the top of the list because they're literally at the top of the list on their page. Engel is also a company that when we work with these turnkey molding cells, and it exceeds the capacity of a baby plast, we work with Engel, and they're going to have a booth there as well. First machines have gone out, and they've got some incredible technology. Pasco, mold making technology, plastics technology magazine. They're going to have their own places there, like you just said, to go see them. Beaumont, if you don't know the team at Beaumont, my God, go see them.
Yep.
Great for training, great for mold flow simulations as well. CAE Services is going to be there. Canon, Virginia, Influx, Keyence. Now, the Keyence booth is a dangerous thing for me, because one of the things that I want to buy for us is about $100,000 non-contact measurement device from Keyence. So it is incredible what they have. And if you aren't familiar with non-contact measuring devices that use vision systems, go to the Keyence booth, look at what they have, and it will save you a ton of time if you're doing repetitive measurements. We've got Kraus Maffei, cruise analysis and training. Torsten Cruise, we're actually going to be basing out of Torsten's booth and in and out of there. If you don't know Torsten, stop by. He's going to have the virtual VR goggles with the Arberg press, and working with Arberg. That's pretty cool. Mantle 3D, they were just out here last week talking with them. Moretto USA, that's one of our partner companies. Do you know Jason Murphy from Next Gen Manufacturing?
I think I've met him. I think it sounds familiar.
So Jason and I have known each other since we were literally kids. He grew up down the road from me. We've worked together at different companies. He's always had a passion for additive manufacturing, and he is doing some really cool stuff with vented ejector pins and blocks as alternative to Porcerex. So check out his display. Will be neat. He submerges it in water.
Okay.
And you can see where the vents are bubbling air out. And of course, the anchor of almost any one of these shows is Glenn Starkey and Progressive Components.
Of course.
You're gonna see every place. And if he's not where you walk right in the front at the front, and he's not right there, I'll be shocked. So, but those are just a handful. That doesn't even touch the list. The list is 10 times longer than that right now. I went and looked yesterday.
Yep. And we have confirmation. Christina Fuges will be at PT Expo.
I saw that. Yep.
She'll be spending her time in the mold making technology booth for the most part, but she also does wander around the show. So just grab her and say, hey, I got a story for you. I wanted to really quickly, you mentioned a lot of them, but I mean, ALBA partners with so many companies. I wanted to run through the list that you sent me. I want to make sure that you don't forget anybody and anybody gets all pissy with you.
It's going to happen because we work with a lot of different people, but they all get their due when the time's right.
Yeah, so here's what you sent me. ALBA couplers and latches, gate block, Vega cylinders, baby plast, cold jet, angle, cruise, X2F hot runner, OEM projects, and more. And the consulting and I mean, you guys are always doing things and keeping things fresh. And I know that you mentioned cold jets on there. Yeah, you mentioned
Yep.
a lot of them. You guys are so busy. It's so cool. It's so
It's
cool to see the growth.
well, we're providing solutions. So as we work on complex molding applications, I don't know if this is going to show up right on the camera here. Let me see if I can show you this.
Oh, is that what you sent us a picture of? We can pull that up. Hold on
Yeah.
one second.
So this is something I'm just trying to get it so you can see it there. That technology, when you bring that up, it's called micro edge. Right here on a baby plast, and the surface looks like it's textured, but it's not. It is textured, but at 20 to 30 microns in depth. The company is Lumenco. They have a brand identity group called Nanopixel. They're out here in Colorado, and they came to us a couple of years ago wanting to do some injection molding of a technology that's always been performed on sheet stock. So this technology, this micro edge, creates a hologram that has a code inside for anti-counterfeiting or for brand identity, equivalent to what you find in the euro or a $50 bill. You see, we've all seen the holographic strip. Well, that's what this company does. One of the things they do, and they're using this technology to be antimicrobial because bacteria and virus can't hold on to it. 20 to 30 microns is very, very small. When you feel it,
Yeah.
it feels smooth. And we're molding it right here at ALBA. And we've been helping them. We want to promote that technology because it has a number of applications. I'll have some examples with me at the show. If anybody wants an introduction or to attend a sample or to meet the team from Lumenco, just call me. Our contact information is on LinkedIn, everywhere. It's cell phones. You can reach directly out to us at any point in time. Yeah, there he goes. So Tony's prepared for this. He throws up the contact info.
Yeah. Well, that's
So
Vanessa.
what's
Vanessa's
behind
doing
me
an
right
awesome
now
job.
is one of the molds that makes this.
Okay.
Playing on the back. We've done a few of them with some local tool makers out here. It's really an interesting application, and when you put your brain around what it really is doing, what Lumenco does is they engineer a solution here where there are thousands of little facets that are mirrors, and about 20 of them at a time redirect light into an intersecting point above the physical plane. And that is called a nanopixel. That's what your eye picks up on. And when you turn this, you're bending light, and the perception is that it's moving. And that's what they do. So Lumenco, in general, is expert in the manipulation of light, whether it's reflection or refraction. And they had to clarify exactly what that means, right?
Sure.
Refraction is passing through an object, reflection is rebounding the light, and then you see that result. It is an absolutely fascinating technology. We've been very fortunate to be involved with helping develop it here at ALBA. They own the technology, but we are going to be promoting that technology for them.
That's awesome. So I know you have an event coming up, right? Besides PT Expo, you got an event coming up September 22nd, 23rd. What's that all about?
So that's target dates right now. We're working with a number of the partner companies. We have a project. MicroEdge will be part of that. We've contacted multiple additive manufacturing companies. Molding machine will be running in the baby plast. We're going to be building the tool with a tool maker up in Wisconsin. We're going to finalize all this, do a press release. The event is scheduled to be a 2-day event where we're going to have each of the partner companies talk about their technology for anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. Gardner Media has committed to coming out for that event. It's going to be a very small event. We're going to have 20 to 25 customers that we're going to privately invite to come out to this technical event. But what will come out of the event is a lot of opportunity for publishing articles and doing videos. We can do some podcasts on this. And then depending on the reaction to those articles, those could be things that people are going to go ahead and see at some of the other expos or shows that Gardner's hosting. We're working exclusively with Gardner for all the reasons we've already talked about. We trust them, and like I said, they've given us the opportunity to publish our information, so we want to give back in that regard as well. So
Yeah.
we're working towards those dates. I haven't set them in stone yet. That's our goal right now. And once we get the kickoff and the tools being built ready to go, then we'll start marketing this and letting people know.
It sounds like a good event. I know that you've been spending a lot of time like building a studio for this exact kind of thing in the ALBA facility so that you can do these kinds of podcasts and tech talks and instructional videos and all the things that people know Rich Oles for. Just making sure that you can do it the right way and show quality, not
Right.
just, some cockamamie presentation.
Yeah, what we're focused on right now. We've been, in fact, I just ordered a bunch of parts for our servers last night. As you know, when you're live streaming, doing things, we have to have places to store digital media. It's very large, so we just literally purchased a whole another multi-terabyte array for our RAID 10 array for our server. I do some of our IT work as well, and the studio that'll be the last thing we do, and it's going to be very basic, right? We're going to have light diffusers, different types of cameras set up. And we've been using these aftershock noise canceling headsets for narrating and just doing these events. They've been pretty good because they don't
Sounds
sit
great.
in. Well, they don't sit in your ear. They sit over and they use vibration. So, anyways, we're going to be using that. We're testing all this stuff out. So when we make these videos, that they're consistent in quality and content. They're going to be short videos.
Hmm.
We get a lot of phone calls. Somebody says, "How do I calibrate a linear transducer on a baby class? What do I do when I have this error come up on the screen?" Well, you get the wrong voltage. And so we're
Right.
going to capture all those and post those up on our website at albaent.com for support. So people can go there, and after they talk to us, they can replay this and stop and look at how to do this again. That's going to be good for our company. It's going to be good for our customers as well.
Yeah, it's I remember you telling me about this like a year ago and just the slow progression. So it's cool for me cuz it's like every 2-3 months I get a call from Rich with progress happening on ALBA and what that looks like and um, you know how they're growing, how they're expanding, who's involved, what's coming. It's so cool to see that and just hear it from you and
No.
and the reach that you're continuing to have.
Well, the intent from when we merged the company in, um, I did not, when my business partner John and I talked about this initially, there's nothing wrong with being in California, but I didn't want to live in California. And the right
It's fair.
location for our company is the center of the North American continent.
Yep.
Denver International Airport is the most centrally located, connected, I think, 27 directs to Atlanta and all different cities. And it's an affordable place to stay. It's a destination if somebody's coming here and they want to stay for the weekend and go to Red Rock or hike or whatever, they can do those things and make some of their work be something fun with no additional real cost for them. But the location here, our goal is to bring people to us.
Yep.
We've been inviting customers. They've come from Puerto Rico, from the East Coast, from the West Coast, from locally, and we're inviting them to come here and host them at our facility. So what we've been spending our money on instead of a lot of the different shows, we made the decision in 2019. We are building up our capability, our internal capability. We have a full suite of Moretto auxiliaries set up, and then we have a vertical and a horizontal press for baby plast here. We're working on a horizontal press from another OEM right now for a little bit bigger work, two-shot work. That'll be yet to be seen, but we have been focused on the infrastructure, and that
Yeah.
includes IT. That includes then studio and all those things.
Yep.
So if you're interested and you want to come out, attend a sample, see what this is all about, call us, get a hold of us, and we'd love to host you
Yeah, that'd be great. I want to come out. I got to come out to Colorado. I miss.
anytime.
It's been a
Anytime.
long time since I've been out there. Last time I was out there, Jack and I came out to. We went to Red Rocks and we went and saw. We did worship at the Rock, and it was an all-day worship concert at Red Rocks, and it was amazing.
So when you were at that event,
Yeah.
I was literally flying over and took a. I had Wi-Fi because I work on the planes when I'm on the planes,
Yeah.
and I had Wi-Fi, and I saw that you had posted you were at Red Rock, and I actually snapped a picture out of there and texted it to you. I think I was flying over while you and your son were there. It's pretty
Yeah.
weird.
It's awesome. And listen, if you haven't been to Red Rocks, you got to go see a show at Red Rocks. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of neat things. There's a lot of neat things. There's also a lot of manufacturing here, Tony.
Yeah.
My wife Lisa actually did a lot of the legwork coming here to the Front Range. What everybody refers to as the Front Range is everything east of the Rockies, right?
Okay.
So when you start going east of the Rockies, you get a lot of prairie land, no woods, nothing like that. But right up against the foothills and the Rockies is where all the population is. I-25 is the main highway that runs north and south, and it really bisects the city of Denver.
Yep.
There is a lot of manufacturing. 15 minutes away is the Otterbox. Eldon James is another company that's building a brand new facility. Windmark Plastics. There's just a number of companies here, and more companies are coming here. It's pretty crazy. So we worked with one of the first companies we met. You mentioned them earlier. Their name is X2F,
Yep.
Extrude to Fill. They're 15 minutes away. They've got an incredible technology that when you first hear about it, if you've been around injection molding at all, you're going to say, yeah, that's not really how it works, or that's not what we've always done. And I have spent quite a bit of time with the founder of the company, one of the co-founders of the company, their new president and CEO, their technical director. They've got a team to die for.
Yeah.
And they're 15 minutes away. We consider them close friends. And if you haven't looked into X2F, go to x2f.com and call them up and talk to them. They're focusing on encapsulation of electronics and different lenses that are out there. It's all I can say about that.
Sure.
But I'm hoping, we haven't finalized anything, when we do the technical event that they'll be involved with that as well.
Yep. Here's what I want to do. I want to come out and spend a week with you. Not at your house. I mean, obviously, you don't need me there for a week. I'm kind of a slob. My wife will tell you that. Maybe not a great house guest, but spend some time with you and get to meet some of those people that out there and see how we can all work together.
Well, what would be really cool is for you to come out and set up and do a remote podcast, a satellite, and we can have some of these companies stop right here. A lot of them, we're right next door to the UPS distribution center, intentionally, right? Because we get calls at 5 o'clock, people saying, I need this, I'm dying. And so we run it next door. This is an easily accessible place. The companies I mentioned are 15 minutes in all directions.
Yep.
And we could do a series of you could set up out in the shop and do podcasts direct with them. You don't have to have me involved. You just use us as a base.
Listen, I love that idea. I was trying to read Vanessa's body language over there. Her eyes kind of like half lit up, like one eye lit up. The other one was like, I don't know about that. But listen, I think it's a great idea. And I haven't been there in a while, and I miss it. So we are getting close to the end of our show. We always end every show with a prayer, because I can't do this by myself. I don't think that that you can't do this by yourself. And so
we all know that.
Yeah, it's a good place to focus our energy to make sure that we can get through the day and everything we have going on. So if you're online and you're still listening and you have a prayer request, it can be anything. Go ahead and put it in the chat. My brother is watching. He says, hello, Rich.
I see that. Yeah.
So if you have a prayer request, go ahead and put it in the chat. Rich, do you have any prayer requests for yourself?
Well, not for myself, no, but for everybody else. Yeah, just stay healthy and happy.
Yeah.
I mean, use some common sense here, but the flu is going around. Everything is not COVID, and it's ravaging our team right now with the flu. But just use precautions. We wear masks. Like even when somebody else is sick in the building, they actually wear the mask so they don't get anybody else sick.
Yeah.
And we really don't care about we all have our own beliefs. And that's okay, but just take a minute and care about the next person next to you.
Sure. Yep. I think, to each his own. If you feel like you're sick and you want to wear a mask, go ahead, do it.
Right.
Be you. We've told people for a long time, if you're sick, stay home. That's why we have PTO days. That's why we have sick days. If you're sick, stay home. Nobody expects you to come to work sick.
The technology, if you're contagious, but you still feel like doing some work, the technology exists today where you can work from home on certain things, obviously.
Right.
Physically.
You can't rewire the manifold. We're not bringing the manifold to the garage to get that done.
Right,
but
right.
No, it's good. It's good. All right, I'm going to wrap us up here. And then, do you have any other thoughts, comments, things you want to get out before I do that?
No, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to connect with us at the show, if you want to get a hold of Tony, you don't have his contact information. I don't know why you wouldn't, but get a hold of me. We'll put you in touch. And that's if you want to talk to those partner companies we talked about. I will be in the Cruise booth. I'll be at Moretto. I don't know if Mold Masters has got a booth there this year or not. I
I'm
think
not sure.
I didn't see it on the list, but they've been talking about it. We're working with them on quite a few applications right now. And so if they are, I'll be at that booth as well.
Jason Temple just chimed in. He said, I only caught the tail end of this, but I'm looking forward to future shows. Thanks
Cool.
and God bless. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
All right. Let's pray and get out of here, huh, Rich? Go have some lunch.
Yep. Sounds good.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to come together with my friend virtually. Thank you for allowing us to have technology and find ways that we can connect even when we're not in the same space. Thank you that you are in control of everything that's going on. So when we feel lost, when we feel scared or don't know where to turn, we can feel comfortable knowing that the ultimate engineer is in charge and you have it all planned out from the beginning to the end. We just have to trust that it's going to work out. And so we just ask you to bless everybody that's listening, everybody that will listen down the line, and that you would bring a level of health and safety and security to everybody in this industry and our country and the world, and help us to put our focus back on you. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Rich, it's been awesome connecting with you. It's been too long. I can't wait to do it in person at the end of March. And it'll be a good thing. And if you need anything from me, you know where to find me.
Yeah, you know how shy I am about calling you at 10 o'clock at night. So
I take the call. Not everybody wants. Believe it or not everybody wants to talk to me. There's a lot of people that are tired of hearing me.
Yeah, well, I can relate to that. So, all right, man. Tony, thanks so much for hosting this and inviting me. Really appreciate the opportunity. Take care.
All right, bye. All right, everybody, I want to thank you once again for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to, give us an hour of your day. I hope it was a little bit impactful for you. I hope you learned something. I hope you were slightly entertained. And if you were, please leave a comment. Like us on Facebook or YouTube and subscribe and pass it on to somebody that you think could benefit. One of the things we're trying to do is utilize this show to get younger people involved in the industry, to show them what is actually out there in manufacturing and what that looks like. So please, if you found any value at all, share it on your social platforms. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. And what do you know? We might actually expand the industry and find new people to join us. And that would be a good thing. So on behalf of myself, on behalf of Rich Oles, I just want to thank you again for watching. If you need to get a hold of us in any way, you can always email me at tony@alliancelasersales.com. If you'd like to be a part of the show, let us know. Put it in the chat. Put it wherever it is. You can email us. You can just contact us any way possible. But on behalf of Alliance and ALBA and everybody else that we talked about today, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Take care and God bless.